all the way through the picks and bans here, Ox. So I'm just going to catch up on some of the major ones. Obviously, the Wukong, the Viego, jungles priority for both of these two teams.
And I just want to, for anyone who has watched the LPL quite a bit, Yao Yao has renamed. He was formerly named Pudding. You may recognize that name as someone who has played in the LPL before. So just to let you know, this isn't a completely new player. And of course, we have seen Kepler previously as well. Now, rapid fire through the bans. We've seen the Aphelios Jinx trade-off that has become a little bit more common due to the amount of 80 carry bans. Zeri, Senna, Lucian, and Kalista all removed from the pool. Wukong given over to Beishron, so very powerful pick there, and Wei answers with that coveted Viego. Bot lane matchups, we've seen both supports picked, so looking towards the mid and top lane. Still a ton of top laners available. GP, Gwen, Kayle still on the cards, none of them trimmed away. And in terms of mid lane, things like the Ahri still a possibility to bring out. We obviously see Yukal being denied the Talia here.
And we also see TT bringing in Hoya to start as well for this split or this game again, and wanting to see how that works out against Ben, who, not too shabby in his own right, I would say, Ox. So there's a lot of testing that's going to need to be done in this series by itself from both sides. I feel like testing the waters for BLG and testing some of the mechanics and some of the play for some of the members of TT here. And in the second phase, we saw the Talia as we were seeing, and the Gragas actually joining that one for BLG.
Yeah, I think with the amount of top laners open, BLG definitely want to give counter pick to Bin. The fact that there is, if Kayle is taken if Gwen is taken by TT, you can take Kayle. If GP is taken, you can just take Kayle anyway. You can take Kayle in a lot of things. And then if TT blinds Kayle, there's obviously responses to that, like you've seen Cubes, Nasta. So I expect a mid lane pick here. It'll be interesting to see what they opt to go for, as we have seen the pool trimmed a bit. Ahri is a standout, but obviously there is the factor that there is the Sandra still open available. Sylas could be taken. I don't think the ults are fantastic, but you at least have the Nautilus ult. And I think ultimately, as long as you have one really good ult to take, I think you're normally fine with the Sylas. Obviously, ideally you want more, but Nautilus ult will work in every team fight you can take that want to be completely happy with it. So we see Icon again on the Sylas. TT toying with the idea of the Ahri. Sylas typically seen as a good matchup into the Ahri. Something to note is I don't expect an R here at all, because the ult is too good for Sylas. Okay.
You look like a fool.
No, this is trolling. I am telling you, Gnar ult is one of the best in the game for Sylas. Okay, the big issue with Gnar ult for Gnar is you have to be mega. Sylas doesn't suffer from that. And also, it's 100% AP ratio. Yeah. It is broken.
It's real rough.
And
also the Ahri matchup too.
Yeah, it's also, we saw Sylas first come in the meta as a counter to Ahri, stealing away the ult, getting that mobility, fantastic for him. So you just given, I said Nautilus ult is enough. You just gave two of the best ults for Sylas. I don't really say Gnar is possibly the best of the entire game, right? It's up there. And then you give Bin, he obviously gets counter pick in this matchup, and he's able to take the gangplank, which should be comfortable in lane, should outscale. So TT, I don't know what you're
doing,
setting
the bar of execution high. They're like, all right, we're going to throw in this new combo. We got to make sure they can perform, all right? We got to make sure they can over expectation perform here for Thunder Talk Gaming. On the other side, feels like BLG got everything they could have ever asked for and more. It's Christmas in July. It's 4th of July. Maybe some fireworks needed. I know we have Jinx on the other side, but it's definitely going to be Cannon Barrage style fireworks for BLG. And I think Ben is going to have a great time, first of all, on the gangplank at the top, but the entire composition feels like it's forthright and forward the way they want to execute and the way they want to win for BLG.
Yeah, I just feel like they have good matchups across the board. The only one that's maybe a little bit iffy is the bot lane matchup, because Nautilus is going to have a bit more pressure in lane than a Rakan, and Jinx is going to have prio in the bot lane, is going to be able to outrange Aphelios at first. It's not too much of an issue. It's not like this is a counter matchup. It's just, that's why people typically pick the Jinx into the Aphelios, because you are comfortable there. But yeah, I feel like GP is going to have a free time. He's going to be comfortable. Sylas, you've just given him such a selection of ultimates. I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's some, if I have to go through lane by lane, some of the best ultimates are Gnar in the top lane. Malphite is obviously up there as well. In the mid lane, things like Ahri are really powerful. Things like Cassandra are obviously really good. She's ult is so good. I just feel like they've given Icon so much freedom in this game to really take over.
Well, hey, speaking of taking over, it is time for the Summoner's Rift takeover. First game of week number 5 in the LPL. The fireworks are outside my window, but they're also on my screen. Happy 4th of July, everyone. Thunder Talk Gaming versus BLG.
Yeah, and I will say, you know, credit to BLG because Hoya is someone who has learned heavily on the Gnar. I believe it's his most played or up there from his most recent tenure in the LCK. So maybe the thought process was he might just pick Gnar anyway. He's that comfortable in the champion. But the Silas pick for BLG going to be massive here. And I think that's the thing is that you look at the side of TT. Yes, they have a strong front line. Yes, they have this Jinx who gets resets. I'm concerned about the longevity of Kepler in this game. You have Rakan, you have a Silas who's got a great selection of ultimates. You have things like the GP. You can obviously drop that cannon barrage on you, set a barrel chain. So I think BLG on a very comfortable position, and it's up to TT specifically. UCal with the Ignite and the Wukong as well. That's a strong mid jungle. You should be able to come out ahead of BLG if you match 2v2 with that summoner advantage. I think they need to get ahead to start to set the pace of this game.
And coming into this one, right, usually very easy for me to like choose some power points for both sides. But in this one, I feel so indifferent. I feel so... I'm waiting. I feel like I'm sitting in a chair and I'm waiting for the show to happen in front of me. Who is going to be the one that actually rises to the occasion, even in a series like this, even against TTBLG? Because I think it's important to start seeing the standouts as we get further in the season, right? You want to see some of that work, some of that development begin to take hold. It's a long season, but you still have already traversed a decent portion of it. So for both sides, I'm just sitting here. I feel like Caesar a little bit. I'm just waiting to judge the gameplay.
And I think that's the thing is that at this point, teams spend time trying to work out their identity, trying to find who they're going to play for, who they're going to lean towards. And I think identity is something that BLG has definitely struggled with quite significantly. Obviously with TT, you know, they brought Hoya in. They've got this new bot lane in, possibly just for today's series, possibly longer term, although I think they were kind of satisfied with Puff and Southwind. So it'd be interesting to see if that does shake up the dynamic. But ultimately, I feel like TT just trying to get wins on the board, whereas BLG, this is a roster who we've talked about time and time again. They are a stacked roster. They are a roster who should be higher in the standings. It just has not worked as of yet.
And I'm always still looking at the Doggo Chris bottom lane. Like, when is that going to come online? When does Doggo really feel at home, feel confident? And when does Chris really allow that to some extent? Been taking a pretty heavy trade up there in the top side. I will note, though, both junglers heavy pathing towards this top side of the map so far. And Weiwei taking a bit of aggression, getting to the Scuttle Crab first and foremost.
Yeah, so that's one of the things, actually. Well, first and foremost, Wukong did actually go for a full clear, so even doing the Krugs as well. But we have seen Wukong's clear being nerfed a little bit. Came out post MSI. He is going to get nerfed on the new patch, which is coming in a couple of days. So Wukong just being slowed down, trying to trim his clear speed. And that's probably his biggest weakness, because obviously in skirmishes, fantastic. In teamfights, fantastic. Just maybe not as fast at clearing through the jungle, but is still holding a decent pace here and should just be able to go towards that bot scuttle. He's got the prior mid lane from UCal. He's got the prior bot lane, as we talked about, from that Jinx. So no major advantage picked up for Weiwei.
Yeah, I remember we were talking about Beishwan really trying to enable the team, having a very high team jungle percentage himself, having a very high XP differential at 15, right? And trying to keep the pace in his corner. I think it's important to see at least TT keeping the priority in bot lane, willing to kind of move those lanes around. I think mobility is going to be so key for both of these teams in this one.
Yeah, because as much as I really favor the draft BLG came out with, there's still so much opportunity to snowball in this one. There's so much opportunity to set up plays. Particularly, I think Ari is a pick we've talked about, has a lot of agency on that. Once you get your ult available, really able to move and make picks happen. If you get that initial kill in the skirmish, getting more charges of your ult, very potent. Now, Weiwei has been spotted there on the wall that was nicely placed down when they made that move towards the scuttle. I beat by Yao Yao. And we see Weiwei actually going for an invade with Icon. And this is textbook. This is what we expect from Icon. The willingness to move, the willingness to be there for his team.
Beishwan gonna find out Crisp here in the tri-bush. Crisp too quick, too clean, gets out of there, and that aggression does bear fruit for BLG early on in the red side enemy jungle.
I actually really like that play from Crisp. It may seem like a tiny thing, but look at the wave state in the bot lane. They needed to crash the wave. They knew Weiwei was going for an invade, so they weren't going to have immediate assistance from their jungler. And so Crisp just sits in the brush. He's a Rakan. He's very safe, very mobile, dashes away, but they spot out Beishwan, so Beishwan doesn't opt to gank them. If they just push the lane in, they potentially could have got looped on by Beishwan and ganked. could have fallen behind, but Crisp just doing his best to cover his AD carry and allow them to keep farming up. And in that time, obviously, Weiwei stole away the Raptors, so just, you know, it's little things. This might seem really minor, but it's just nice to see them making the moves and just finding those little advantages, looking to contest even just a small amount.
Making the schmoves. Speaking of making schmoves, we got BLG in mid lane trying to make something happen against UCal. As UCal does have some defense here, Yao Yao right around the corner. They're going to try to pull the trigger here, but as he does, you know, UCal immediately backs out of that one. Icon did steal the ulti, so look for that Spirit Rush a little bit later. A little bit of that mobility for Icon, see if he gets himself into trouble.
Yeah, I mean, really powerful tool, and I think particularly just makes it very hard to gank. Pro 6 Ari is such a hard target to gank because of the ultimate. You can burn it, but unlikely to get a kill unless you have insane lockdown. And the fact Icon has it as well just makes it a tricky one. We are seeing potentially something break out, a fight over the Scuttle Crab.
Doggo's on his
Doggo
way,
is
though.
first to move, yeah. So it looks like BLG will be able to secure this. Again, is this the biggest objective in the world? Absolutely not. But you take anything, and you see Weiwei's pulled a little bit ahead in that jungle matchup with that camp stolen, with that Scuttle Crab as well. So may end up hitting that level 6 first. And really, level 6 is where these junglers both come online. Wukong obviously with the Cyclone, so much engage potential, so much lockdown. And Weiwei with the ult, the ability to get those resets that are so potent on the Viego.
Yeah, exactly. I think as both junglers down towards this bottom lane, we did see some pings from TAT towards the Dragon, but it looks like we got a lot more pings going towards bottom lane. And engage comes out from Yao Yao. They got BaseOne coming through the alcove here. But BLG back away and nicely done. They're trying to wait to see if they can bait them out, but BaseOne will take this time to set up a bag.
Yeah, and it's decent layering of the CC with the Chompers, so Crisp can't instantly dash away, but ultimately very hard to punish a Rakan, very hard to apply that pressure. And this has been a slow start so far. Neither team really able to find necessary big angles. I think BLG could be happy with this one in leaning into the later stages. I am interested in seeing the setup for the neutrals, though. Herald going to be on the map in just a few seconds. You can see Icon already establishing a little bit of vision in the area. You see a ward actually placed down up towards further up in the river by Bin. And you even see the bot lane of BLG actually moving up. So it looks like BLG are really looking to prioritize this objective. Whereas on this side of TT, yes, Yao Yao is moving, but Kepler is still bot.
He's starting to move now. It's going to
Yeah.
be really late, though. We see them bypass the Rift Herald start early, though. So this will mean TT is in a space to defend if they want to. BLG not necessarily too super confident, even with the vision game that they have. Realize TT has 3 members strong there as they clear the control ward, and now we see a lot of priority trying to be gained in mid lane.
Yeah, looking to contest the wave. You see the minion dematerializer dropped by both sides to clear out that cannon. TT are going to start this one up. They have Hoya moving and sacrificing some farm. Yeah, he's ready for Mega, so would be significant. I want to see if Icon can get in range to steal away his ultimate, but if you look, the wave is pushed in top. Hoya feels like he's gonna have to move back up, but actually he stays.
I think they're just giving it. Yep, looks like they're just gonna back off. Yeah, had the Mega, had the positioning. No confidence there for BLG to move in. First neutral objective for TT, as it does mean BLG move down toward this bottom side. We'll look for these chicky nuggies for Weiwei as the resets come out for TT. I feel like, you know, they come out a little bit on top, even if they aren't on top in the gold differential.
Yeah, so we end up seeing some CS missed out by Hoya. That's one of the significant things that comes through here. So that's why there's a bit of a goal lead opening up, because of that CS lead in the top lane, the CS lead in the AD carry role, and in the jungle. If you look, Weiwei has now built up a pretty significant difference. But as you said, TT have that Herald, and I'd love to see them make use of that in the bot lane, try and set Kepler up and get him ahead.
Trying to set up the new carry, at least for TT for the moment. But not going to see any resources divulged that way just yet. 27 left on the coal, though, so we'll have a little bit of gold in his pocket after that gets completed. The Dragon did go over to BLG, though, so we have trade neutral objectives. It will be, I guess, all eyes on when and where BaseOne wants to use this Rift Herald, and I think that's the important question, because we're still yet to see where the resources are really going to lie, right? Are they going to try to dump it all into UCal, get this Ahri ahead so they can split out of the mid lane, or are they just going to try to dump everything into Kepler, like you were saying, and utilize the absolute carry force of the Jinx, even with the nerfs that we've had? We still heckin' love Arcane.
Wait, for season 2.
We had to cast. We got the cast guy. I had to say it at least once. It's tradition. Come on.
You have to, yeah. There's already a plate down top and mid, so those are easier targets to look for. But I think mainly the thing with Herald is you can either be proactive, pick a lane you want it in, set up a play and make it happen, or you can kind of wait for BLG to either make a mistake or show someone on the map. So, for example, Weiwei is top, but he hasn't shown on the map. So, if you end up going for a Herald bot here, for example, he could just head over. You don't have an exact read. You can sort of judge where he is if you want to be more proactive. But typically, if you manage to get a kill, if you manage to get an advantage in a lane, that's where you have prime opportunity to use a Herald. Here, though, TT instead opt to be a bit proactive, and they're going to throw it down in the mid lane. As I said, the tower is already low. This will chunk it out to, you know, a pretty weak spot. This basically means if Icon does look to roam, if he looks to move, mid tower is probably gone.
Yeah, and so TT opting into giving UCal a little bit more pressure in the mid lane on the Ahri and wanting to revisit it. I mean, this is multiple ganks we've seen tried to pulled off in mid lane by both teams at this point, and heavily on TT, just not able to find it yet. Both mid laners, Silas and Ahri, again, notoriously really difficult.
Yeah, it's just not the easiest lane to set up on.
They keep going, though. They keep going. They don't want to stop.
They are posturing. Hoya looking to have Mega again. Might be looking for a heavy trade on the bin.
He's in a decent amount, but yeah, the Meganar will be coming out here. The Hyper procs come through. Gets a little bit of that health back. Just some trading back and forth between the top laners. Now we get a bit of aggression from Weiwei yet again. But Beishwan and Yao Yao here to defend Icon with the Spirit Rush. It's a 4v3 though. BLG back away. They don't know where anybody is. And now they transition to bot lane where Doggo trying to get some plates.
Yeah, able to let the turret finish that one off. So all in all, gold dead even. No real advantage gained, even with the Herald coming out from TT. You can see Weiwei is just being able to farm up a significant lead in the jungle. It's only really mid lane, but Icon is down in farm, which is kind of what we expect. We talked about at the start of the day, and things still just going at a slower pace. I guarantee people are like, what? This isn't the LPL. We expect faster pace games. I will say BLG, you know, it has been less of a thing this split, especially since Icon came in. But in spring, they were the slow team. They were the team who really took it easy, didn't go too fast-paced, and tend to lean into the later stages of the game. So I do want to know, we've just seen Gale Force come out for Kepler. Not something we typically see from the Jinx. Often it is that Kraken Slayer, but obviously valuing that dash, that ability to outplay, dodge away from things like Crisp with the quickness, dodge away from Cannon Barrage, barrels. We do see a play coming out here in the top lane.
Meganar trying to get into the charm. The Everfrost, it makes sure it connects. And Bin, one last auto will go down. Weiwei is here to respond, but Yukao had a Spirit Rush charge back. Icon's here trying to steal away something. Looks like he's going to try to steal away Yukao's life. Heartbreaker over the wall from Weiwei. Icon's all by himself now. He flashes away. Hoya follows him up. He's got the Kingslayer. Got to watch that healing, but he's left all alone. And Icon, you're a dead one as bot lane. Crisp is locked up, locked down. Grand entrance, and there's the Gale Force. Instant gratification is what we know and love.
Yeah, we were talking about a slow game. Instantly, the pace picks up. Yukao being the one to make a proactive play. And then the fact that he gets the reset, the extra charge, gets him out of tower range. And this is just a bit of an overcommit coming out from Icon. So Bane clears the wave, but unfortunately, isn't too much you can do to avoid the CC. Orange is the Everfrost, not there for the charm with the Ignite. Likely to go down anyway. And then the extra charge gets Yukao out. Icon goes in, but doesn't have his ultimate available. When he dies, there was like a few seconds before it was going to be up. So he flashes over the wall. Hoya chases. Even a Mininar knows he can handle it. Does end up being a bit close. But the difference it could have been if that ult was available to Silas. And yeah, Crisp, a bit of a mistake on this one. Rakan, someone who is very mobile, very good at playing aggressive like that because he can get out. But if you get CC'd, if you get locked down, you will die quickly. You are very squishy.
And as the tables turn, so does the next dragon. Already about half health for BLG, but TT want to come here. Beishwan is right there, but the dragon already secured by BLG. Now they're trying to get out the charm. No, it's going to connect onto Doggo, and Doggo's just dead. Oh, flashed out from Weiwei, but they leave Doggo in the dust. He burns his heel, but he's already dead. Yes, they get the dragon. It's 2 stat for BLG, but now all the pressure for TT.
Yeah, in those situations, either everyone flashes or no one flashes, because all that happens is you burn the summoner from Weiwei, but they still get the kill. If you both flash, you both get out. If neither of you flash, then Weiwei probably dies. But at least you don't bin any summoners. But yeah, just feels like TT have instantly found a pace in this game. Now,
Hoya's dead. Oh. There is no hope. They already took his tower. He was in transition here. He might get out just because of the hop, skip, and the jump. But Weiwei doesn't want to let that happen. And maybe to his chagrin, he escapes. Hoya survives somehow. And hey, Gnar pretty darn good, huh?
Not managing to get away just about. Now ult comes in. This shouldn't be enough to take anyone out. Does actually hit Doggo, so it's blocked.
I like
Herald
the camera.
Secured by BLG. Now gold lead in favor of TT. They picked up all those kills. They got mid tower. They got bot tower. They're in a really good spot gold wise. But BLG has at least been able to take those 2 dragons to slow down any potential scaling coming up. Not scaling, any dragon stacking from TT. If Soul was to come in this game for TT, it would be very, very late. So BLG have at least bought themselves time, but they have really, really flubbed this sort of period between the 10 and 15 minute mark where, honestly, TT have just surmounted a humongous lead.
Like lightning, baby. As they are into the game and very strong now. They're moving Kepler to the mid lane with Yao Yao as that bot lane has been taking. A lot of pressure available for them from the mid lane. Look at that gold difference as well. Kepler sitting nice and pretty first game here, renewed in the LPL here with TT, and he's sitting pretty with a unique Gale Force build. Already hadn't gotten the kill on one-time use with it, so not too shabby for TT to start it off. But it's also about how they close it out, right? You've got a lot of scaling aspects on the side of BLG. You have a lot of strength in BLG's mechanics and their macro movements. You got to be careful at every which moment.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy sailing, but I am interested how BLG manage things from here. Crisp, again, will be able to get away. The safety of the Rakan is there, and the lockdown didn't connect, but he is playing dangerous games right now. And I think the thing is, BLG, they can just slow the pace down, right? They don't need to contest dragons. They have the second Herald in pocket, so they can throw that down mid lane if they get an opportunity, if TT overcommit to one side of the map. And they have a lot of wave clear. With the right guns, Doggo can provide a lot, but they have a gangplank with the barrels or the ultimate can really make it difficult to apply pressure. So they should be in a position where they're able to hold on. And it really comes down to TT accelerating the game and particularly looking at the last outer tower, which is in the top lane.
Hoya playing a little bit aggressive up there, gets the ward down. GG easy, I guess, for Hoya. And it's BLG moving up, trying to clear out some of this warding, even with the Baron still 2 minutes away. It's about control on the map, and especially because they have top tower. This is the only safe space, Ox, at this point, especially with, renewed pushing on towards bot lane and how much strength is coming out of TT's mid lane right now because of Kepler's lead.
Yeah, and we see an ult come out, stop bins, reset, Dragon in a minute 30. Already TTS setting up control to try and make sure BLG can't approach. They really want to secure this dragon. H1 will even want to secure those wolves as well. And you can see they're kind of pushing through on these 2 lanes, applying a lot of pressure. Reset's going to come out from Kepler. He should have a second item.
Oh, they're going
actually,
full
TP
on.
Icon, yeah.
They're trying to get Hoya here. They just need to find a side lane advantage. They've got 2 coming at Hoya, but he's about to have Mega Gnar, and he still has the jump. Going over the wall. Nice grand entrance, though, and they get the Mega Gnar ult back, though. Hoya responding, and the outplay bin. You got to be careful. He has the flash as well, and then the rest of BLG have to run away.
So much bin, and the fact that Hoya hit Mega and had flash available was always going to make that difficult dive. They do connect the CC. It isn't quite enough to take them out, and now that's a heavy investment to the top side of the map, with no real reward coming in, which does mean they're probably going to lose Dragon for nothing. We'll see the replay. Oh, yeah, again, close to Mega. Nice hop on the minions to get the double bounce. Does get knocked up and CC'd, but in Mega, able to turn it around. And then the flash at the end, even with Bin hitting the barrel, does keep him alive. And now, BLG committed all those resources to the top side. You can see the wave state mid and bot is pushing into them, so they have to catch those. This Dragon is forfeit. It is gone. But my question is also, what are you going to do with the Herald? Because the Herald is about to time out for Weiwei.
It's going top. It's going
like
opposite
top
side.
Lane. So they're trying to get some damage on the tier 2 top lane. I don't think they'll be able to take it. Not exactly the best use of a second Herald, but you take what you can get.
Yeah, I mean, if you're at least they get it out. It doesn't get wasted. Doesn't get the charge off here. Going to be a little while till they can get a response from UCal. Dragon goes over. So exactly put TT, draw a line in the sand, say no more dragon stacking for you, BLG, and move back to the mid lane, continue pushing up. The next eye is obviously next Dragon in 4 minutes, 45 seconds, but Baron is something that can feasibly be played around in terms of baiting fights for TT.
Yeah, there's a lot of engaged, a lot of pick potential from TT, so a good objective for them to set up around and try and find more picks, more kills, and keep accelerating the pace of this game. That's the problem with being down in dragons. You know, if TT had all of those dragons, they would be looking at 4 minutes till they could challenge Soul and force BLG to fight them. But as it is the way it is, they don't really have too much pressure coming out from that side of the map. You do see Yukal finding a window. You see the lean coming in from Bayshon and Yaya, so they should just be able to pick up this tower. But on the opposite side, you can see BLG posturing to go for the T1 in the bot lane.
They really just don't like Hoya. That's what I've established at this point. They're just playing opposite side of strength for TT, and I think it's some good looks from BLG, right? Because if they do catch Hoya in one of these transitions, it can work out really well for Bin in the side lane himself, having a pretty substantial lead, sitting at 2 items now.
Yeah, we even see the cannon barrage actually come out on the Baron, so Bin just checking that they weren't doing it. And this is another reason why GP's so good at stalling games out, not just a wave bait.
Oh, wait. He gets caught out, tries to flash, gets out the Heartbreaker, but the Cyclone is renewed, and Yukal gets the kill. 5-0. 22 minutes in for TT.
Such a mistake. You know, you checked Baron with the ultimate, but now no cannon barrage, no jungler. This is Baron for TT. It's done. It's gone.
Ain't got nothing to say here. They're going to burn it down slowly but surely. Hoya TPing in to make sure that BLG might be putting up a fight here. They have Moonlight Vigil. They have the Infernum. A lot of AoE damage in that pit. And they're going to try to contest here. Moonlight Vigil goes out. A lot of damage. And it's taken by Bayshwan. So they've gotten the secure. Icon goes down. And it turns out BLG really get nothing. Hoya, he needs to be really careful here. Gale Force from Doggo gets the kill. Doggo flashed it over the wall. Gets away from the dredge line as well. TT get the Baron. But they give over the first kill to BLG.
Yeah, but I mean, you're not really bothered at all, right? You lose one member. They finally managed to take down Hoya, but you get the Baron. You even trade a kill in return. And BLG just, you know, I was talking, it shouldn't be that hard for them to stall out. They have things like the Cannon Barrage. Veigo's quite good at checking objectives because his ult can go over walls. I have no idea why Weiwei was there. Just completely unnecessary. Then here, Icon flies over, not in range to reach Hoya for the Gnarl, which would be preferred. Ends up going for the Wukong ult, which doesn't have an AP scaling. Obviously, with Silas,
he didn't even get to
AD
activate
scalings into AP, so the damage is very low. Not really able to provide much threat. And then Doggo gets that turnaround kill with the Gale Force, but has to flash out. And things are looking pretty good for TT. 1-4 in the scoreline for series. A win here would be massive.
Can you imagine? 2-4 TT, the amount of 2-4s we're gonna have in the league. It's gonna that clump. It's gonna be looking really tough there. I think if TT can secure this one, but a long way till that moment, right? We still have said BLG have moments of hope if the tunnel gets a little bit longer and the time gets a little bit longer in their favor here. About a minute and a half until Dragon spawns. Obviously, BLG can give this one away. TT will not let it go away, I'm sure. They do not want to give Soul Point and the power that comes with that decision-making over to BLG. And they're using their bottom lane priority here to set that up for themselves.
Yeah, and I think for BLG, just sack the Dragon. You just give it up. Sacking bot lane tier 2, I'm not as convinced on, but it looks like they're going to do that anyway.
What about the inhib? What about the inhib? What do you think about the inhib? Is it sackable?
No, they'll be there. They'll be there in time. I think they should defend that, but I thought they should defend this T2.
True.
So, you know, what do I know? Now, we actually see Icon pushing in the side lane. That tower is very low, so we should be able to take it and equalize at least a bit of the gold. But overall, BLG just trying to desperately mount a defense here.
Cannon Barrage onto the wave, try to clear the Baron minions down. Tier 2 will go over to Icon and BLG, but Tier 2 in mid lane falls for BLG themselves, so losing a lot of objectives and a lot of defense around their base.
Yeah, so gold quite heavily in TT's favor right now, 4,000. That tier 2 take does manage to mitigate some of the pressure, but look at the items coming through. Infinity Edge finish for Kepler, 3 items on this Jinx, absolutely massive. Yukal as well already has a Morellonomicon. Something to note, Morellonomicon, the Grievous Wound was nerfed, but the stats were buffed. Gives 90 AP now, so quite a lot, especially with the Everfrost that gives extra AP on the passive. A lot of that raw stats coming in. But Dragon is up, and yeah, BLG give this up. No surprise. They'll just be able to easily pick this one up for TT and equalize those dragons. But still, not that much pressure. BLG can still afford to give up another dragon. And TT, you know, you made your push with the Baron. You haven't cracked the inhibitors. You haven't broken the base of BLG. And we're probably just going to see the pace of the game slow down once again.
We're hitting 3 item spikes now. The Zanya is finally completed there for you, Cal. I still see that IE in Jinx's inventory, and it scares me every single time because the damage that's going to be coming out, the reset potential for Kepler is going to be nuts. And that's where you're still waiting on some of those big, you know, I guess I would call them qualifications at this point for damage for BLG. You just got the Lord Doms. You know, you're trying to build up for Doggo, but he's a bit behind at this point in terms of just map control and resources, at least, that Kepler has gotten. And I think it's hard to see them fighting, but that's also where I think it's okay for them, where they're sitting, where it's a bit tentative, it's a bit stressful, but they're willing to give up, bend and not break, I guess, is the philosophy.
Yeah, I mean, Bin is still ahead on this Gangplank. Obviously, champion skills exceptionally.
And not break.
And you know, we've seen what Bin's Gangplank can do. If there's any LEC fans, they all know the G2 moment. They all know about that one.
They do.
On the Gangplank. And that's ultimately actually what I want to hit on. You know, TTR ahead. They're in a better position. They have a Jinx. Fantastic. All good stuff. This game is never going to truly be over because BLG can always find a favorable fight. Even if TTR ahead, if you connect the right abilities onto Kepler, that can be enough, right? If you get a barrel combo with Bin being level 16, if you get, you know, a quickness icon with an R ult, if these things manage to hit the backline of TT, if TT's backline misposition, they can still lose a fight from this advantage. So yes, TT in control, but they can't get overconfident in this game.
Absolutely not. Another pickaxe into the inventory of Bin. He continues to try to leave Hoya in the dust in terms of gold. Gangplank's going to be stacking up well in front of everybody else. I guess right in par with a few of the members of TT at this point. But it's looking very good, at least for the long-term setup in BLG's favor. And I think that's where I want to go back to what we've seen so far. It's been an off and on game, but we've seen so much skirmishing come through from Beishwan and Weiwei, and the teams forming around them. A lot of heavy, like 2v2s, 3v3s, 4v4s, and that's the essence of this series so far.
Yeah, Beishwan been doing well, and I mean, the Wukong is a pick that thrives in those skirmishes, in those fights. Weiwei and the Viego hasn't been able to find the reset. Chris, come on, man. You're playing with fire there. One of the things you always have to be careful of is someone could be sweeping, and if you use a sweeper, they see you and you don't see them. Now, they're instantly going to start the Baron. I like this play. You know Chris was trying to reset for wards.
Now, Weiwei's
do you have the cannon barrage
here
to check?
Doggo's got red-white, so you know he's willing to fight. It's a mean Doggo there, but about half health. Hand barrage comes through and pulls TT off of the Baron.
Yeah, cannon barrage is a great tool of stalling. I feel like the fact you get a vision, obviously, but also when they've been had shredded resistances from the Baron. Oh, Chris.
Oh, they caught him out. He tries to pop the quickness. Crisp is just dead. The catch out again. Crisp. It's heartbreaking.
Not a good look is all I'm going to say. And now they can head over to the Baron. If you're going to lose someone, Chris probably the best to lose in terms of combat power. But he's the one with the wards. He's the one who'd be able to get you vision in this pit. No cannon barrage available. And BLG somehow have to approach. Look at Yukal on the flank. And Yaya waiting in that brush.
Icon's trying to get a little bit of a steal action going on here. If he can get to the right ones. He's looking for the Meganar ulti. The Baron's already gone, though. Engage doesn't hit from Yao Yao. And that means BLG will get out unscathed. But they lose the Baron and map pressure galore.
You know, and we can be plenty critical of BLG here, but I want to take a moment to praise the setup from TT. You know, yes, Crisp overextended, but they cleared out the vision, swept it, and look at the Baron pit, right? Look around on the mini-map, Azal. I count a lot of control wards right now. That is the whole team working together to establish vision control. Crisp is like, okay, I have to try and approach. I have to be the one to do it. I have to be the one to get a ward in. And then he gets flanked here. Hoya and Mega. And on the other side, Yao and Norlis. Not a good choice on either side.
They didn't even
Ends up
have
getting caught
wards.
out.
They just knew he was pathing there.
Yep, they had him spotted out. A fantastic read and a great setup for the Baron. And again, all those control wards on the top side of the map, securing the vision, ensuring BLG had no eyes on the objective once the cannon barrage was down. And now they pick up... Yeah, they're going to be able to pressure mid because BLG moved down towards Dragon.
They just lose everything at this point, right? Like, they lose the inhib tower, which is a big pressure point, but now this lost them position around the Dragon pit, which means now they have to face TT in an unfavorable position, and at this point, not even face them. This is sole point for TT in 3 straight Ocean Dragons.
It's a lot, right? It's a lot of Ocean Dragons, and especially when a team is lacking damage and you have to cut through things like a Wukong and a Gnar. Gnar obviously exceptionally tanky in the mega form. Wukong just hard to kill because of the fact he has a death stance, because he is very slippery. It will just make it so much harder to get way resets on these frontliners. So BLG in a rough spot, and TT, they still have Baron. This is going to try and make more happen.
They are. They can still push up for another minute and 10. It felt like the siege. It felt like everything was coming to an end for a moment, but then it's renewed immediately after the Dragon taken from TT. Looks like they'll calm down just a little bit longer, but I would expect this bottom lane to bear fruit for them themselves, because they're bringing in 4 members, and the only response right now from BLG doesn't feel like enough.
I just want to see a good fight from BLG. I feel like they haven't
gotten one.
Yeah, the whole game, you know. I want to see them look for those big combos. Icon level 16 can steal away the Gnar ultimate. Just look for it now. Hoya's right there. Go grab it.
They're indecisive, and they're waiting here, but they're losing their base. They lose 1 inhib, which means easy pickings for TT. They can move down to the bottom lane here. This might be it. Icon has the Mega Gnar, but he doesn't pull the trigger on it. TT flesh out perfectly. Cannon, the barrels at least, do a little bit of damage. Still more damage to be done to the bottom lane inhib tower, but TT realized it's time to back away. Let's let them rest and complete a 4th item for Kepler. No big deal, Bloodthirster.
Yeah, they get the gold. They play it safe. Baron's timing out, but the lead is growing and growing. 6,500 at this point. Yeah, Bloodthirster for Jinx going to make it so hard to cut through TT. Grievous Wounds, as I've talked about many times, has been nerfed. It is lower, and also BLG don't have a good source of it right now, other than like an Ignite from Chris, which, I mean, okay, they don't have a good source of it. Ignite from Chris is all they really have. Icon's ultimate will time out. One of the nice things with the Mega Gnar is the cooldown is so short that Salas should be able to steal it fairly quickly. Again, should be up in time for either this Dragon or this Baron, but now TT, with this massive lead they've amassed, going to be trying to apply some pressure in this top lane. But even if they don't get anything here, they just have to wait. They have Dragon, they have Baron, and we've seen them set up for Baron very effectively 2 times in a row. And with Soul on the cards, BLG, I am still waiting for that fight.
Yeah, I just don't know where it comes at this point, right? You've got like huge differentials coming through it. You would think it comes with a pick, it comes with the team fight setup, but they can't find the in-betweens to do that.
I know where it comes from. You just get on top of Kepler. You have, you know, so many engaged tools. I mean, you have Rakan, who should be enough, but you have Icon who can grab the Salas ultimate. You have the Cannon Barrage. Just do something, right? Well, stop losing the game slowly.
And I hate to bring the mental aspect into it, but you wonder how much those early catchouts onto Crisp have affected the engage potential for BLG, right? Because he is the major forward force, right? A grand entrance sets you up for an entire fight, but we haven't been able to find it just yet, and all we found is Crisp getting caught out. Speak of, he gets caught out yet again, and they're continuing forward because Kepler's excited and they can keep pushing these towers.
And with that, you know, they're just going to keep pushing. BLG, can they do anything in return?
Cannon Barrage, Moonlight Vigil. It's a lot of damage. That'll help your stats at the end, but it's not going to help you secure a win today as they are moving on forward into the base. Hoya's still pushing it up. TT a little bit here, skeptical. They're waiting on the next wave to come in. Back and forth a little bit here, but the defense is now going to be renewed for BLG, so TT not really having the siege potential.
I think that, you know what's the most painful thing about that situation? Look at the summoners on the side of TT. They burned Yao Yao's Ignite. That was it. That's all they burned. They had 3 stopwatches.
All of BLG have theirs, though.
But the main thing is, if TT are going for these aggressive plays and they're just not burning summoners, it's so bad for BLG. Like, when was the last time you saw Kepler flash?
Yeah, very true.
Like, I don't even remember. I'm not even, like, it was so long ago if he even did. Like, that's the thing. He now has a stopwatch. We have 2 Zhonyas, 3 stopwatches for TT. Everyone on TT has a flash. You know, I'm talking about these big combos from BLG. How are you supposed to find them? If TT press the buttons, you don't.
Oh, he had to use his Gale Force to get out of the Everfrost. Yao Yao in the engage here. Here goes the Mega Death Rocket. Hits on the 4 members. Not a lot of damage, but it's still a nice peppering. Yucal has 2 charges of the Spear Rush. Going to use one of them. Icon was looking for a flank there. But BLG, they've got super minions to deal with at their base, and they're not really in position. They're going to force the hand. They're just going to go for the Baron. I like this. This is a glove thrown down by BLG to force TT into a fight, but I don't know if it's a fight they win. And at this point, it's not winning. You want to run away. You don't want to be in this one. The barrel's not enough. The damage not enough. Kepler gets another one. It's 9-1, and it's about to get a whole lot worse. Nice little combo from Crisp. They get one back, and they're trying to turn it around here. Icon and Weiwei with the re-engage, but they are going to die. And guess who is still alive? It's Kepler with a triple kill.
36 minutes. And TT will find the team fight that wins them the game. BLG, you saw them trying to find the window. And look at TT, Mazel. All 5 flashes used there. Broken stopwatch galore. Sonya's on cooldown. They had all the tools to prevent BLG's engage and prevent it. They did. And now they will close out this game. And what I can only say was a convincing win for them.
And where was BLG? I just don't even... it is crazy how much of a haymaker TT just threw to BLG, and especially with the changes to the roster, everything coming into this one, you would expect them to be on the back foot, but no, they took it straight to BLG, and they're the ones reeling.
Yeah, it was a really strong performance from TT.